Correct.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, everybody, thank you very much for joining us today. Let me find my keynote here. Here we go. Okay, thank you very much for joining us on the Big Picture Call. This call happens every single week at the same time. It is officially a call for Chris Gullo's organization, but other people from Europe are welcome to join in as well. So we get together every week to believe more in our products and also the opportunity of this great company to belong to the ASEA family by getting to know other people who are on the same journey and to become better people and better ASEA associates as we learn lots of great things on the Big Picture Call. Again, big thanks to Morten Andersen. He posts these calls every week on his Facebook group, Lead for Speed. Can you see that, or is my thing in the way, Morten? I think you can see it.
Oh, we can see it, no problem.
Okay.
You can see it is a really nice picture of Morten Andersen.
It is a great, Diamond Morten Andersen. Thank you very, very much for all you do to support this team. And everybody can access the recording at that Facebook, I think it's a private Facebook page, Lead for Speed, as well as the website, leadforspeed.com, right? Is that right, you guys?
Well, it's actually, right now it's only a Facebook group. We removed the website because we moved everything to the group.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, good. So I have the right thing up there. So
Yeah.
it's private, which means
That's correct.
it's better. Yeah. Okay, so thank you for that, Morten. So I always like to recall our ASEA mission, which is to better people's lives and to be a force for good in the world. And that's why we're all here, because we really believe in this, and this is what we all want to do. So first of all, what we're going to do today is we're going to go to Denmark, and you are going to hear from Jette Lauritsen. Well, I'm probably saying her last name wrong. I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to hand it over to Jette to share her wonderful product experience, because that's what really is the engine that drives this business and this company. So go ahead, Jette, take it away.
Thank you very much, Trish. Hello, everybody. I'm so happy to be here and be able to share my product story with you. I came across ASEA 3 years ago. I met ASEA through Ellen Sokolov, who's also on this call. We know each other from a network, and I was talking about some issues I had with thinning bones, and Ellen told me about the molecules, and I was sure I could try, because I didn't know what else to do after a long search. And it worked. It really worked, and it was so good because it has given me hope that I don't need to go into any kind of medicine with it. And the most amazing thing is that when I have had my checkup, my bone scan, my doctor said, "What have you found, Jette?" Because she knew I was looking, and I said, "Why?" And she said, "Well, the negative development in your bones have stopped." And she had never seen that before. So I was, of course, very happy. On top of that, I used to have bleeding gums, and I don't have that anymore. So now I only go to the dentist once a year. And on top of that, I'm wearing contact lenses. I used to wear driver's glasses and reading glasses additionally. And after 6 months of using ASEA, I don't use my driver's glasses anymore. I don't use my reading glasses anymore. And my contacts went down from -525 to -475. So that's pretty good for me. Before, I had poor sleep, and now I sleep beautifully. After menopause, I still had the heat flashes, and ladies who are in this age knows how annoying that can be. And I think it took more or less 3 months, and then I didn't have the heat flashes anymore. I also had swollen tonsils since childhood, and that has also disappeared. So I am super happy.
Super wonderful. Thank you so much, Jette. And it was really because of the great experience with the products that you decided to join ASEA as a business and as a humanitarian effort and share ASEA with the world, right?
Exactly.
Fantastic. We will hear more from Jette later. And if you're not familiar with Zoom, if you go to the top right of your Zoom screen, there's a little icon that looks like a checkerboard. When you click on that, you can see the gallery view where you can see 25 people at a time. Or if you click again, you will see the speaker view so that whoever is speaking, in this case Jette, will be in the biggest video box. So that could be helpful to you. Okay, as always, I would like to say that we do not make any medical claims for ASEA's products. ASEA products are not intended to be a treatment or cure for any disease or medical condition. ASEA is a wellness product. It is not a pharmaceutical. ASEA simply empowers the body to heal itself by allowing all of our cells to communicate effectively. It can impact the digestive system, the immune system, the endocrine system, and the 12 different systems of the body. That's why one product can do so many amazing things for people that it almost seems too good to be true, and yet it is true. So thank you very much, Jette. Very nicely delivered, compliant testimony. And we are going to move on to bring you some awesome guest speakers today. And really our focus, at least for this portion, is the power of AutoShip. So AutoShip is the foundation. Okay, so why AutoShip? First of all, like you just heard from Jette, one fantastic reason for AutoShip is because our products are so fantastic, right? So using ASEA technology, we can stay healthy. If you're an athlete, you can perform better. Like you just heard from Jette, you can sleep better, feel younger, look younger. Our studies show that using redox molecules actually increase blood flow, help with cellulite, and shrink fat lobules. So why wouldn't everybody want to be taking redox molecules as well as our other products on a daily basis? So those are the health reasons for AutoShip. In addition, of course, there are multiple business reasons for AutoShip. We all want to be a product of the product. Later on, Jette is going to tell you about the in-home presentations that she's doing, and probably the most important part of her presentation is her own product story, right? And not everybody has a really dramatic product experience like Jette, but that's okay. Whatever your story is, it is. If you're on ASEA for prevention and you didn't notice anything change, that's fantastic because everybody can identify with that. Also, you want to lead by example and create duplication, right? We want everybody to be on AutoShip. That's the foundation of residual income. And so we can't ask others to do that unless we ourselves are doing that. Of course, we want to maintain our exciting loyalty rewards points so that we can rack up points and be able to go in and claim our free product, which is very exciting. I usually use mine for the free sample, to get free sample tubes, which sometimes I use myself, but oftentimes I will reward members of my team by giving them the small sample tubes so they can better build their business. Of course, we need to be active to be paid by being on at least one case of AutoShip. That guarantees you're getting your 100 points every single week. Or one case of AutoShip per month means that every week you are active. This keeps your binary points banking. And like I mentioned before, AutoShip is absolutely the foundation of residual income. So our certified superstars from around the world, today we are going to Germany. So Christian and Susanne, I'm gonna let them say their last name for you because they say it the German way. I would say Sachers, but that's pretty terrible. But they have been in the AutoShip All-Star list for ASEA several weeks during the past months. So I am going to stop my screen share and I am going to hand the time over to Christian and Susanne.
Thank you so much, Trish, and thanks for the invitation. We feel very honored. And yeah, our theme is, I think, consistency. I think it's the word in English. Because we had, let's say, 2 years since we started ASEA, hard years with a lot of work besides ASEA. So yeah, first of all, I want to introduce us, and our surname is Sachers. That's really difficult, I think. But you may also say Sachers, that's totally fine. And I'm graphic designer, and this is Christian.
Yeah, my name is Christian. We live in Hamburg, north of Germany, a big harbor city, which is also called the door to the world. So it's a very good place to be, to really reach out for all the possibilities of ASEA. And yeah, I've been working for over 20 years as a geriatric caregiver, and for 8 years now as a naturopath. Mainly with the methods of acupuncture, herbs, and diet, and I'm very happy to that I found this awesome product. And yes, now we want to talk about our way to keep things going on.
So we start our little presentation. I hopefully can do that. Yeah, seems so. Okay. I hope you can see the screen. So this is us and Hamburg. And yeah. And I start with my story. And first of all, I want to start with the result. And that's because I'm really so happy that all of what I'm telling you, and it's not all that I could tell you, really disappeared. So for the first time, I think since I'm 6 years old, I feel really the potential of my body and not only of my mind. And that's amazing. This is so fantastic. And both of us, we really are amazed about the product and the business opportunity because of all we heard, we learned, and we experienced. And this is my story. You can see me on the left side on the top. This is me with probably 5 or 6 years old. And since childhood, I had severe breathing problems, which really led me to death almost several times. So this was really scaring. First time that happened, I was searching for mushrooms in the woods, and my mother experienced her child having severe problems and almost dying. So for her, it was also very scary. And there was no spray at that time. I really had to go through every attack. So that wasn't a nice thing. On top of that, I had, it started also in that age. I had bladder problems, inflammation problems, kidney issues like pain and so on. And all in all, many overreactions to many things of my immune system. So my body was not in the best shape, I would say. And because of all that, I had also low energy all my life, which really means that that it's exhausting to reach goals, to do things, to study, to work. It's all really exhausting. And yeah, as I said, I had many other health challenges, but that would be too much to talk about. And because of all these things, since the last 10 years before I started ASEA, I was unemployed. I learned and studied and so on, but I really could not work regularly. And as I said, it was not possible for me to live like I wished to, what everybody, of course, likes to do. So then the time came with ASEA, and because Jette was so persistent, I think is the word, to contact me not only once, because then I had no money to say yes to her. I want to try, but she came back to me half a year later, because she could see and follow, because we're long-term friends, she could follow that I was not in the best shape, and she again offered me to try ASEA. And this time my mom would be so very kind to help me out, and we ordered the biggest entrepreneur pack. We were excited about science, about everything, and we just wanted to start, and my mother was totally behind me. And also, but that will Christian tell himself, he also was very excited about everything. So after 1 week trying ASEA or taking or drinking ASEA, I had already much more energy. And after also 1 week, for the first time since these 10 years, I had the feeling that my legs would move on their own. I didn't have to force walking. It was no longer exhausting. And it was really a miracle for me. It was, wow, a aha moment. And nice side effect, my skin was better already after 1 week. Several friends really talked to me and say, oh, wow, you're getting younger and younger. Soon you will be 18 again. So this is quite funny. And after 4 months, I didn't need any medication anymore because of all my immune system problems. And that means that after 10 years of constantly taking antibiotics and other medicine, it's a big relief if you just stay with how you are without taking anything. After 4 months, my breathing problems were gone. Amazing. I could talk about this very long, but you maybe can imagine how that was for me after life. And also I had no overreaction anymore after 10 months. And that was the time when we went to New York State to visit Ellen and Lauren Graham, Ellen Sokolow and Lauren Graham, the upline of Jette and us. And you can see me with sweet Kinney, with the cat, with one of the cats. And for me it was absolute touching thing that for the first time since 20 or 30 years almost, I could approach a cat. I could be in the house with cat hair, of course, if you have cats. One cat jumped on my lap, and Kinney, so she was in human years 90 years old. She even crawled, as you can see, on my neck. And I loved that. And I really fell in love with the cats. And I was so happy that I can experience that in this life, and much more to come, I think. And my bladder issues are almost gone. So I had only 2 inflammations after that. Before it was constant inflammation. And of course, because all of that, the result is that I have much more freedom, or I have freedom totally, and possibilities. And you see me in the Rocky Mountains on the left side. That was on our honeymoon right after the visit in New York State, where I could drive around with a camper, hike and everything without being sick and having the energy to do so. And so my biggest wish to be able to be active and traveling already came true. So this was quite a lot. And now I give to Christian.
All right. Yes. Yeah, you see me in the US and in Brooklyn, I think. It was an amazing trip last year. It was our honeymoon and very impressive experience. So my story, it began right after Susanne drank ASEA for her first time, and she was so amazed that she said to me, just try it, come on. And I said, no, I'm healthy, I don't need it, you should drink it. And soon after that, I had some problems with my elbow and lower arm for about a month. So I wasn't able to make a fist. It was very painful, and I treated myself with acupuncture, with taping, but the problem occurred right after 1 day. It was the same as before. And then Susanne suggested me to try Renew 28. So I did it. And I applied it 3 times a day. and 3 times in 5 minutes. And voila, after 3 days, it was really, really better. There was no pain left, only kind of tension, and this was very convincing for me. And then Susanne said, "Come on, now you drink it." And I was thinking, should I do it? All right, I do it. And then I started drinking ASEA because I was so curious what will happen. So the whole problem of the arm was gone, completely gone after 1 week. I saw that I also got better skin, and yes, what it was more prominent was the clarity of my mind. It became really, really better, because normally I was called dizzy professor. You know, I was a bit daydreaming like and so on, a bit forgetful, and that vanished more and more, and it was a really wonderful experience. I also gained more energy and endurance, especially for my work. So I have 2 jobs, and yes, the surplus of energy is very welcome. Yeah, and also realized that when I got sick, the healing is really quicker. And I also have the experience that many problems are prevented by drinking of ASEA. So this is my story, and now Susanne takes over.
So what we did then, because we were so excited about everything concerning ASEA and also the team, let's say in our upline, amazing, really thank you for everything. Oops. We made a lot of decisions. We did not have so much time for really doing some things. Of course, we did something, but not as much as we could have done if we had more time. But we were talking a lot, and we worked with our minds. We said we want to have that it's important to have goals, to think big, and also very, very important to have trust in yourself. We really wanted to be a good example. We decided to be gentle, but also clear. We decided that we want to keep everything as simple as possible. And we really decided also to work constantly but relaxed. And that doesn't mean that we wanted to lie on the sofa just watching videos, but we didn't want to put stress on ourselves and on the team. But we wanted to feel everybody pleasant. And then we decided that we really want to do something every day, and that's really what we did. I think Jette can say yes to that. And that, for instance, was watching videos actually, and listening calls and watching presentations, doing our list. We did presentation in Hamburg, right? We went to the Envision in Copenhagen, to the Post Convention in Cologne, and all in all, we want to give our best, and we are aware that this only is happening if you leave the comfort zone. Which, okay, you can do a parachute jump, or you can just talk to strangers about ASEA, for instance. This is also very important.
Yes, and when we came to action, we tried many things, and yes, we mainly do the work for and with others. So this is very important for us. So finding new friends, this is really the main goal of the work. It's not mainly to reach out for prospects, but we want to find new people just because of the interest in each other, and and to have really relationships which enrichen the life. So, and we don't put pressure on them, because we think that it's very important to give space to prospects, so they can decide on their own what to do. It's especially very important in Germany, because here the people are very skeptical, and they're very checking everything. So it's good to leave them as they are, and don't push them. And that's why we want to talk, not so much, but to be open, to listen. And then if there's some interest, we tell our story, we talk about the opportunities, which is also important, very important. And when somebody is interested in taking ASEA, we suggest taking ASEA at least 3 months, and of course the right amount is also very important to have results. So if we talk about autoships, people want to continue their autoship if they have great results. So we say them to like that, so they don't have too high expectations, and when something good is happening, they are more happy. We also suggest a lab test before and after 3 months, because in some cases people don't feel anything, and to have an evidence that something's happening in the body, we suggest that blood count, so they have a before and after 3 months difference they can see, and have more confidence in the product. The next important thing everybody knows is the follow-up. The follow-up does not mean it should have to do with the business, with the product, but also to keep connections and to build up the trust.
And adding to the lab test, I just remember that the doctor of my mother, after she drank ASEA for 3 weeks, called me and said, "What are you doing with your mom? Her blood values, which used to be very unstable and fragile for years, suddenly were balanced and looked very, very nice." And he could see that it was not because of his efforts, but something must have had happened. Just this was very amazing for us, and that's why we had the idea of suggesting lab tests for skeptical people, mainly. And to add about how we want to, or how we work with our team, we of course want to support our team partners, but mainly to build their own team. So everybody has the chance really to benefit from the business opportunity. And of course we have to be duplicatable, and like Jette is our role model, we decided to do mainly in-home meetings, and we decided that after several tries of other things which weren't bad, but we think this is the best thing to be duplicatable. And small things with venue tests and talking and showing one video, so everybody can easily do that. And if somebody has trouble or has some more questions which he or she thinks she can't answer, we can come in through a three-way call. So that's the idea of doing it. And we also decided from the beginning on to work cross-line, because we could see that something was already going on in Germany. And Jette is Danish, so she had not so much experience with Germany either. And so we immediately contacted Tobias, whom you can see with us in the left corner, Tobias Frieser. And since then we are in contact. We did presentations together in Hamburg, and it was much fun, and we learned from each other, I think, wiser a lot of things, and it's much fun to work together. Also on the Cologne post-convention, we could see what that means to be a strong and broad team, and what comes out of this, and we met many other very, very impressive people there. And we want really to stay open for everything, also suggestions from our team, because that can be a lot of benefit for everybody. And then we like Trish's motto, just do it, and we add, just go on doing it. And that's it.
Thank you so much, Susanne and Christian. You are fantastic. Congratulations on your success. Even though Christian has 2 jobs and you work, you've had some personal tragedies, you have kept moving forward with ASEA and have been recognized as ASEA AutoShip All-Stars. Thank you for taking the time to put together your beautiful presentation. Absolutely fantastic. I'm sure everyone is learning tips from you, even though some things people may have heard before. We can always learn something from every presentation, including myself. So thank you very much. And we are going to continue on hearing from Jette. She also has been recognized as an ASEA AutoShip All-Star in Europe, and she's a brand new silver executive. So big congratulations to Jette. And I just think it's wonderful how many times the ASEA product will move people into the business. When they have their product experiences, they're like, yes, I want to do this, I want to share, I want to be part of the ASEA world, I want to move forward in the ranks, which is exactly what Jette has done. So I will hand it over to Jette for the next few minutes. Oh yeah, so here you go. Whoops. Whoops. Oh, you can see my picture here. Let me just bring it up quickly. Sorry about that. So Jette is going to focus on really the power of in-homes, using in-home presentations to build your business, just as you heard Christian and Susanne speak about, and also the importance of attending events. And most of you know that the next big European event will take place at the end of January in Lyon, France. I'm looking forward to be there, as well as Kristen Rondagello, many people from the US, Beth Wofford, Triple Diamond, upline of Susanne and Christian and Jette. So it's going to be an exciting event, and we hope to see you all there. So with that, I will hand it over to you for the next 10 or so minutes, Jette, and then we'll wrap up with our webinar. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Trish. And I want to go to my slides and tell you about the in-home meetings that I'm doing, and actually the recipe of how I am doing it, because I hope that it will give you something. I always start, of course, with introducing how I got in touch with ASEA, and then I put on the quick draw video, because I think it's such a nice way, and also a little bit of fun way to explain about the molecules. And then I will keep going on with my testimonial, and if there are other users of ASEA, they will tell their testimonials. And then from there, I do another video, Alan Noble's presentation from amazingmolecules.com. And we are lucky that we have it in Danish. Thank you, Anne Mette, for speaking. And after that video, people are normally very curious. So here I offer them to try the products, and I have in a period of time working with especially with Renew 28 as the door opener, you can say, and where I invite people on the basis of anti-aging. So when we get to that point, I always give them a little bit of Renew 28 so they can feel it on their neck. And many women my age, a little under and also over, knows exactly that it would be nice to have a smooth neck. So and when they feel the molecules, they're like, wow, it's really tightening the skin. I also do the flex test, so they can also get another kind of immediate result with the products. As we know, immediate results with the products are very key. Like Susanne and Christian, I always suggest also 3 months of trying the products, and if people drink ASEA for any health concern, I also tell them that sometimes 3 months is not enough, so they have to consider using it more to get to the result where they want to be. And at the evening, if people already that evening decide to start on the products, I also give the new customers a little test tube on Renew 28 so they can bring it home and start already the next day. And when I was putting my in-home meeting together, I was a little bit nervous, like I also am a little bit nervous now presenting to you. So I tried, I decided to do a test drive first. So I actually invited friends, and they came over, and I made the presentation, and I told them that my goal for the presentation was for them to give me feedback on the things I've put together. And it was friends who are very good with feedback, so it was very valuable. So I can really recommend doing that. You also gain confidence in doing the presentation. I always find it's a little bit funny the first time I'm doing stuff and so on, but because I made a couple of test drives, I felt much more relaxed about it when I finally had real prospects there. And actually, one of my test drive friends has become a customer, so that was also very nice. Then we always talk about that the fortune is in the follow-up, and the most important tool is your ears. I think that's why we have 2 and only 1 mouth. So follow up with your customers, follow up with your associates, and in general follow up with your prospects until they either sign up or say no for good. As you probably also have experienced, you hear a lot of objections, but I also realized over time that actually objections or questions are often disguised as objections. So if you really listen to what it is people are having as objections, you can go in, ask them some more questions, and then suddenly they realize, oh, okay, maybe it is for me anyway. So so this is why listening is really, really important. And like I said, follow up with customers. I have a little SMS/messenger service, either to help people remember drinking ASEA when they are new, or if they do remember to drink ASEA, a lot of people have problems remembering to drink water. So I text them or message them some little water drops, and we also make an agreement how often they want to have this kind of follow-up. And many are a little shy in the beginning because, come on, everybody should know how to drink water. And I said, yes, but so many forget. So it's a part of the service, and I would be so happy if I can help you. And afterwards they come and say, wow, it was really great, and I really got into that habit as well. So thank you for that. And follow up with the associates, of course, with the product. We talk about the business. We talk a lot about mindset. You probably all know about the way Trish is working with her mindset, and we also work with the mindset. So that is a good basis for the whole business. And like the example of follow-up, like Susanne said, she gracefully declined the first time I talked to her about ASEA, and then 6 months later, it was the right time, and it has been an amazing journey ever since. And we also have traveled together with ASEA. We have been to Envision together, and we will be again together at Envision in Lyon. We have already booked the tickets, we have the flight, and we have the hotel. So we are all set, and we also have some other people with us, so that's very nice.
Beautiful, Jette. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry. I wrap it up quickly.
Oh, you're doing great. You're doing fine. Thank you.
Thank you. I have personally sponsored most of my team international because I have a worldwide network. And as you can see, from Sweden, we are into Austria and Thailand, and from Australia to the Philippines and Germany, and from Spain to Ireland, Germany, France, Poland, Sweden, the UK and US, from Germany to Canada, Sweden and the US, all in all 14 different countries, including Denmark. And if you don't have an international network, don't worry, because sooner or later someone in your team has international connections. And the most important is that we have shared values, that we trust each other, and that is duplicatable. So go on, go for it.
Okay, absolutely beautiful. Thank you very much, Jette, for your time and energy putting together the beautiful slides to teach people. I think both Susanne and Christian and you shared great tips about in-homes as well as auto ship and follow-up. So thank you all so very much. I would like to finish off here just by talking about the subject of building in depth. And some people know what that word means, but if you're new to network marketing, you might not quite know it. So in network marketing in ASEA, we want to go wide. What that means is we personally enroll as many people as we can. We place them on our right leg or our left leg, wherever the volume is needed. And in the beginning, your goal should be to sponsor at least 20 people. Now, some people will be able to sponsor 20 people in a week. Some people will be able to sponsor 20 people in a month. And some people, it will take them longer. But chances are, if you sponsor 20 people, this is kind of an average, but you will most likely find 1, 2, 3, or even 4 people who want to become active in ASEA at various levels. Some of them will be part-time, some of them will be sometime, but at least you've found active people that you can work with. And then your goal is to identify who is a real builder. Well, how do you know who a real builder is? A real builder is going to sponsor 20 or more over time, just like you did. But sometimes these people aren't really builders. Whoops. What they are is they're more connectors, right? And so a really important skill of network marketing is to learn how to understand the difference between a connector and a builder. So a builder is someone like all of you on this webinar, right? They get on webinars and then they put into action what they learned on the webinar. So a connector would be someone who likes the products. Maybe they don't want to take time to go to meetings. Maybe they don't want to take time to go on the webinar, but maybe they have a friend or a relative that they want to share ASEA with. So your job as a business builder is to work with that person to contact the people they want to share ASEA with, and then you go to work directly with their person. And their person might be a builder, but again, it might be another connector. They might just connect you with their brother or their sister. So you keep working down through people who are just connectors until you find people like Susanne and Christian and people like Jette who want to do this business, who want to move forward, who want to change people's lives. And sometimes this is a process that takes a few days, but usually it's a process that takes several months or even several years. And that's why it's very, very important, as Jette said, as well as Christian and Susanne, to keep in touch with people. You know, my goal is always to be a friend, not to sound like a salesperson. So usually when I call people, I call them up and I say, how's life? How is your cat? How is your dog? How is your kid? How is your job, right? And so first I catch up with them in a friendly way, and then I'll move on to talking about, well, hey, who do you know that you would like to share ASEA with? How can we do that? We can go to their home. We can invite them to a coffee shop. I always like to do in-person presentations if possible, because then you can do the 3 and 5. You can apply the products. You can, instead of waiting for them to watch a video, you can show them a video. You can show them some of the online testimonies that we have at ASEA Healthy Self. So the idea is to start local, just like Jette and Susanne and Christian did, and over time, your organization can grow global. So I want to give an example of that. Oh, and of course, by going global, you're going to begin, like Jette, start to earn thank you checks from ASEA simply by changing lives around the globe. So I want to tell you a little bit about how this network developed. And so Beth Wofford, many of you know her. She does the animal webinars very generously, almost every week for 10 years in ASEA. She doesn't get paid for that, but she does for all of ASEA. So Beth has been with ASEA for over 10 years. One of the very first people who joined my organization right after I joined ASEA in 2009. Now, Beth, you can say hi, Beth. You can unmute yourself and just say hello to everyone if you don't mind. I know you're on here.
Sure. Thanks, Trish.
So let me ask you this, Beth. How do you feel watching people whose lives have been absolutely transformed by ASEA, who are now sharing it in many countries around the world?
There's nothing that compares to that. There's nothing that compares to that. I see Jette talking about all the countries she has, and it blows my mind, because I don't know people in any of those countries, and now, or I didn't before ASEA, and now they're some of my dearest friends, and I'm so excited to meet everybody firsthand in Lyon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And so I know that Beth sponsored, I think it was 4 or 5 people who are no longer active in ASEA in various states in the US. But ultimately, those 4 or 5 people led her to Ellen Sokolow. Sorry, I misspelled your name, Ellen. So Ellen, are you there? Can you say hello to everyone? I saw you on the...
Hi, everybody. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Okay, so you're from New York.
New York State.
New York State. Not the city. We don't want to be from New York City. And I know you texted me, but I don't have that in front of me. So tell me, what year did you join ASEA and what rank are you now?
We joined ASEA in March of 2012. It'll be 8 years this coming spring. And
okay, so 3 years after Beth joined, Ellen shows up, right? Simply because Beth kept in touch with the people in between who ultimately sponsored you. Right? What else were you going to say, Ellen?
We have a lifetime rank of silver and are currently bronze.
Okay, that's fantastic. I know you're very, very dedicated to ASEA. And how do you feel knowing that you shared ASEA with Jette, who you actually knew, I think, from a Buddhist network that you were in?
Yeah.
And how do you feel seeing that because you reached out to Jette, you have completely transformed Susanne's life, and many people's lives are being changed by ASEA?
It's incomparable. I've been a holistic healthcare professional for more than 40 years. And as I get older, I want to spend less time on the treatment table and more time reaching more people. So to have this kind of ripple effect is just indescribable. It's fantastic.
Absolutely wonderful. So the point I want to make is that this network did not develop overnight. It didn't develop in a few weeks or even a few months. It developed in a few years. So my sponsor in my first networking company always told me this is a marathon, not a sprint. It takes 4 years to get a college degree. It takes 5 years for most businesses to cash flow. So those of you who are watching this webinar, your question to yourself should be, where would I like to be in 5 years? Not, of course, we're going to make goals for next week and next month and this year, but ultimately we need to have a long-term dedication to developing our own bright futures with ASEA. Most people overestimate where they will be in 1 year, but they underestimate where they will be in 5 years. So even the Grand Canyon started like a trickle, but simply by doing the same thing year after year and after year, this, you know, the beautiful Grand Canyon has become a huge river with this beautiful canyon. So what you've heard here today from Susanne and Jette is nothing revolutionary, okay? They are great people, very talented, very dedicated. They spent many hours putting together this webinar so that they could inspire and teach all of you. But they're doing the foundational basics of network marketing. They're making a list, they're contacting people, they're following up, they're working on their attitude because it's very tempting sometimes to get discouraged in this business, right? But the key, like Susanne and Christian said, is to continue moving forward every day, doing something to build your business, getting out of your comfort zone. And even if you don't know how to do an in-home, schedule an in-home. And I promise you that between the time you schedule it and you do it, you will figure out how to do it. And maybe it will not be the most perfect in-home, but someone there may be looking and searching for you, just as Susanne was searching for an answer to her issues for so many years, ever since she was a little girl. So here we are at ASEA, truly changing lives worldwide, one person at a time. Thank you all for being part of this webinar. You absolutely can change your life with ASEA. So that is the end of our webinar today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned from it. We have 6 minutes until the top of the hour. So we're going to go ahead and end. What I'd like to do is, if you don't mind, Morten, Morten can unmute everybody, and you can all say goodbye and thank you, Jette and Susanne and Christian. Everyone.
Varsågoda. Okay.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Have a good night.
Thank you for having us here.
Good night.
Mm.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Great to see everybody. See you in Lyon in January.
Fantastic presentations, everyone.
All drink ASEA together in Lyon.
On boira de l'ASEA ensemble. À bientôt.
Thank you. I love it. Awesome. Bye, everyone. Thank you for your dedication to ASEA. Bye. Thank you. Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Det veldig viktig å gå ut